So this is going to be a quick shop update, and viewer discretion is definitely advised because Rob is Rob, and you'll probably see something that you don't want to see. And then I'll go into some other blabbery stuff. The real update is the machine shop area. Got the lathe here, the mill there, started cleaning it up, and then the rotary phase converter showed up, so I felt like, hey, got to install that bad boy, right? Temporarily wired up for those that are going to look at this and be like, oh my God. This is the AR15, which is a 15 horsepower rotary phase converter. It's enough power to kick off a 7.5 horse motor, which is bigger than anything I currently have, and I don't foresee having anything that big anyways. The mill, I was able to fire it up. It ran. I got a little boo-boo I got to fix. Well, we're not going to go into that. Fired up the lathe. It ran. I played with this thing for a little while. Hey, check it. Eat your heart out, A-Bomb 79. I'm coming for you. Please don't show him that. I broke like 4 inserts trying to play with this. I'm starting to get a feel for what some of the handles and knobs and stuff do, but I don't know anything about this stuff. So I ordered a book, and I'm going to be watching some videos to hopefully figure some of this out. The inserts, I didn't know that's what they were called. I was calling them the little cutty doodads, I think is what I referred to them as. See, other updates. Upgraded the oxyacetylene tanks to big boy tanks, but I'm keeping the smaller tanks, not because I wanted to, but because I own them and did not know that. I thought I was leasing these. No, Rob owns these, which is fine. They'll be nice for travels, you know, if I need to take an oxyacetylene set up somewhere, it'll be nice to have. So I'm not going to complain too much. I upgraded the bottle for the welder and made a mess. Is essentially what I've done. I bought a new anvil, new to me anvil. This is a Henry Wright. I bought this from Brian Brazil. It is currently sitting the way it is sitting because I'm getting ready to load it up and take it to Tipton with me. And Tipton will be the Indiana Blacksmith Association forging conference, and I am going to that. So I'm going to take my station with me and do some forging out there. I'm not taking a 250-pound anvil. That's silly. The Henry Wright's like 88 pounds, I think. It's a great anvil. It's beautiful. I love it. I did not need an anvil, to be honest, but this thing's got pristine edges on it, and it belonged to Brian, and I just couldn't bring myself to letting some guy buy this anvil that didn't know what they had. So this way it stays in the family. Those of us that are into the Brazil style of forging can appreciate that, and if I ever decide to let it go, it will go to one of those guys, and only one of those guys. I will never let this go to anybody that is not part of that family tree. Elitism, I don't know, whatever. You either know or you don't, you know. That's just all I can say about that. Let's see. I bought some tools from Mr. Mark Ling down in Texas, and I've gotten a couple of people have asked me why I would buy tools that I can make. And there's 2 answers to that. One, I'm supporting somebody that I admire. I think Mark does great work, and he's a great dude, so why wouldn't I support that guy? He's trying to make a living at this, so anytime I can throw a bone his way, that's what I'm going to do, man. I can afford to do that, so why wouldn't I do that? The other thing is I wanted a pristine set of tools to model stations after out at Goshen. Out at Goshen, Ohio, at the school blacksmithing there, we're trying to build out 10 fully functional stations to Brian's specs of what he wants to see in a station. So this is going to be like, you know, just the base minimum of what we need. You know, so some of the hand tools, and this isn't even a complete set, to be honest. This is a complete enough set to get you going. But there's things that are still needed. So there'd be like this complete set of hand tools, a set of cupping tools, which are additional hand tools. They look like monkey tools to the uninitiated. So there'll be a set of monkey tools. There will be a collaring jig. There will be bending forks. There will be top tools and bottom tools. There will be a striking anvil, a striking vise, at least. The striking vise is kind of nice to have. I don't know that it is not required for every station. Maybe one for every 2 or 3 stations would probably be fine. You don't want like 10 guys fighting over one vise, though. So a couple of those would be nice for the school. Like I said, the striking anvil, a keyed in anvil that sits on top of the striking anvil and then locks into it so that, you basically have an all-in-one system. Actually, the collaring jig will do the same. It will drop down into the striking vise or anvil and lock in, and then you can use it there. A 60-degree V-swage would be the same. There's a lot of add-ons for that striking anvil that can be deployed rather quickly. And I think once people start seeing the versatility of that, they're going to become even more popular than they already are with a lot of folks. That's another thing. I've seen some videos of guys making hammers recently, and they've been using standard anvils to work on. And let me tell you, once you've worked on one of these and you've made a tool on one of these, and you go back to a standard anvil to try and do it, you'll understand why this is a superior platform. There's a video, I'm not even going to name names, but I watched that dude swinging a big old hammer on a regular anvil. He missed, hit the anvil. Luckily, that thing didn't fly back at him and he didn't chip anything off. But man, if that had been like an inch to the right, he would have probably taken a big, nasty chunk off the side of his anvil. Those are mild steel. That will not be a problem. You'll leave a big dent in it. No big deal. You can peen it back over. What you can't peen over, you fill with weld and grind flat. Moving on. Again, until you've used one, though, you just don't know what you don't know, man. So that brings me to the last thing. Education, man. Getting out there. Doing something. You will not learn this craft or any craft by reading about it, thinking about it, or dreaming about it. The only way you're going to get in there and learn the craft is by doing it. Now, you can supplement the doing with the reading, the dreaming, the thinking. But you're doing yourself a disservice by not going to some type of conference relating to the craft that you're interested in. You're doing yourself a disservice by not taking classes relating to the craft that you're interested in. I spoke to a young man out in Goshen, Ohio this weekend, and to be honest, every time I've talked to him about it, all I've heard is excuses of why he can't do it. And this is what I said to him, and this is what I say to you. Stop making excuses. Start making time. Doesn't matter if it's blacksmithing, surfing, whatever. Stop making excuses. Start making time. It's the only way you're going to get good at this, whatever craft it is that you're interested in. If you just sit around and make excuses for it all the time, you're either not nearly as interested in it as you thought you were, or you're looking for an excuse to suck. I'm sorry, that's just what it is. I will say it. I will say it to the day I die. That's just the way I feel about that. You're just making excuses because you suck. And there's no reason for it. You cannot suck. Yes, you're going to suck for a while. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, none of us were born, well, okay, Brian might have been, but none of the rest of us were born with a hammer in our hands ready to forge, man. That's just, it takes time. It takes time. I'm an IT nerd by trade and a musician in my days off. So this is what I found to fill in the time. And let me tell you, if it weren't for those classes, man, I would be terrible. Not that I'm still kind of terrible, but I'd really be terrible. So, get out there and take some classes. Pay attention. Take classes from multiple people. Yes, I am a Brazil disciple, or as some folks would call us, Brazil nuts. I am one of those. I will freely admit that. I'm okay with that. It's a forging technique that speaks to my soul. I get it. I enjoy it. And, as Brian will always say, hey, show me better. If you can show me better, I'll take it. I look at it like MMA, man. If there's a better technique out there, I will deploy it and use it. I have no shame in my game. Anything that makes me suck less, I'm all about it. And really, you should too. If it makes you suck less, you should be attacking that with zeal. So, that's enough for my rambling. Like I said, stop making excuses. Start making time. That's 10 minutes, man. See ya.